wide open if you got questions about it, man. It's the show that brings you to your raw. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. Real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
Here we go on this Monday evening in the city. I'm trying to get my audio right here, trying to figure out what mic I'm on. It is 6 o'clock straight up, which means it is time for Real Talk Memphis. I am your program host, the humble one, Chip Washington. Very happy to have you with us on this beautiful evening in the city. Somebody forgot to tell the temperatures that it is, it's still wintertime officially. But it is 70 degrees, according to what I have heard from the weather folks. And tomorrow, it could be close to 80 degrees here in the city before we get some rain on Wednesday. And by the way, don't get too used to this temperature right now. Like I said, we're in the 70s, low 70s today. It's going to be windy for the next 2 or 3 days. But when this little front rolls through on Wednesday, drop a little rain late night on Wednesday, I would advise you to take a jacket because the temperature is going to drop like a rocket on Wednesday from the 60s down to the 4. By the time we get to 5 o'clock, this time on Wednesday evening, temperatures could be in the 40s. So here we go with that again, right? So we're not through with winter quite yet, but let's enjoy the first couple of days of the week as we should do. Glad to have you with us. Glad to be back in the air chair after 7 days. I trust since the last time we communicated with each other, you are doing well, you are doing fine, and everything is going swimmingly in your world. Now, there are many ways to get this fine piece of radio broadcasting. The first way is for you folks who do listen to your radios. We are on 91.7 FM on your FM dial, of course, at that's WYXR, of course, live. And you can also catch us on the WYXR app. We are also on the TuneIn app. Those are all live. And we are live streaming on Facebook Live this evening as well, so you can catch us on there if you choose to watch the video version of this show. And as, of course, we are a podcast, you will see us once the show is posted. You will be able to find us on YouTube and, of course, wherever it is you get your podcast. And, of course, we know you love your podcast, don't you? So when you go to your podcast platform to listen to whatever else you listen to, why don't you drop in, and check in with Real Talk Memphis with your boy Chip. We really appreciate that. Like, follow, share, subscribe is how we like to put it together. We have a pretty good show for you tonight. There's going to be a really important event kicking off, sponsored by the city of Memphis tomorrow evening, as a matter of fact, in Whitehaven. And it's called the One Memphis Tour, hosted by Mayor Paul Young. He will have a lot of his senior administrative staff there as well. He will give you an opportunity to talk with the mayor, ask him questions, have him answer your questions tomorrow evening. We'll talk more about that with his Director of Community Affairs, the good Reverend Dr. Reginald Boyce, will be joining us in just a few minutes to talk a little bit about that. He's also the special assistant to the mayor. So he'll talk to us all about that event, why it's important for you to come, and what you can expect when you do show up tomorrow night at Whitehaven High School. A little bit later on, we will have a young lady who has been on the show before, doing great things in our community, trying to keep families together, keep families whole. So many of our families are split apart. And what that does to the dynamic of a family, especially when children are involved, is very difficult. And her name is Carol Jackson. You all know Carol. She's the executive director of Families Matter. And she recently had a graduation for some males about a week or so ago. So we'll talk to her a little bit about that and find out what the graduation was about. And we'll also find out what new initiatives she is putting forth in her organization. And a bit later on, you know, we are moving through the year at a record pace here, it seems. And we'll be in spring before you know it. Temperatures start to warm up. Then we'll get into the summer. A lot of you like to go to the beach, right? A lot of you like to spend time at the beach and spend time around the water, in the water. Many people like to go swimming and things like that. But how many of you out there are afraid of the water? Show of hands. Show of hands. I'm not afraid of that. This is an example. If you're watching me on Facebook Live, this is an example of me holding my hand up. A lot of folks are afraid of the water. Well, we have someone that might she basically says that she can take all that fear away from you after one, possibly two lessons. Her name is Velver Lee, and she is a swim instructor, and she is the founder of Grown Women Swim Memphis. And she's going to come and talk to us a little bit about that. And if you are one of those individuals who likes the water but is afraid to get in it, you might want to check out that segment as I talk to her in the second half hour of the broadcast. So, yeah, good show on tap. This time, however, we take the moment to shout you out. Plenty of folks out there celebrating birthdays in the month of February. This is a leap year from what I'm to understand. But anyway, if you celebrated a birthday over the weekend, or you have a birthday you're celebrating today or this week, this is your segment. This is called the Shout Out, and we do it right after we say, hit it, Brent.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, happy birthdays going out to the following folks on this day. Johnson Dante celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Ronald Morgan celebrating today. Let's see here. Gerald Green, happy birthday to you. As Lola slowly saunters up to the mic. Deborah Cashin celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday to Ronnie Tony. To Tammy Carrick. Jillian Davis is celebrating her birthday. Sherilyn Sherilyn Mathena celebrating her birthday. Happy birthday, Kimberly, Anita, and Michelle Bryant Bradley. Lola.
Yes, a very special happy birthday to my big sister, Vicki Gregory.
That's your big sister?
Yes, that's my big sister. Her
Vicki?
birthday is tomorrow,
All right.
Vicki. Happy birthday, Kitty Cat. Love you.
Happy birthday. I'm not going to say that last part, but happy birthday, Vicky. Kitty Cat. Thank you, Lola. Happy birthday to each and every one of you out there celebrating on today. We hope that it's been filled with fun and laughter, and we hope to be here with you next year to celebrate your next trip around the sun. Thank you, Bryn. All right, some quick news and notes on this Monday evening, the 26th. Today is the 26th day of the month. Friday will be the 1st of March. Unbelievable. Anyway, in news and notes, many of you probably heard about the shooting that happened yesterday at a church over in South Memphis, where a pastor was shot in front of his church after he tried to stop two suspects who were trying to steal a car out of the church parking lot. His name is Pastor Clemmy Livingston. The church is the Zion Field Baptist Church. Pastor Livingston is 70 years young. He was shot in the face. As of last check, he's in stable condition at the hospital. But again, no place is safe on the church ground. He was trying to stop two individuals from stealing a car off church property, and he got shot for his trouble. We will pray for him, and we will pray for the entire congregation over at Zion Field Baptist Church. The suspects are still on the run. Shelby County sheriffs worked the case in Collierville overnight hours, about 2 o'clock in the morning. Two vehicles crashed into each other head on. One of those vehicles carried a 15-year-old who subsequently lost his life as a result of the accident. It turns out the two vehicles, the one the 15-year-old was in and the other vehicle, were stolen. That is another sad and tragic consequence of things like that. Speeding, very high rate of speed, cracked into each other head on. 2 o'clock this morning, a 15-year-old has lost his life as a result. Human remains were found yesterday afternoon in a South Haven, Mississippi park. They will be sent to the crime lab in Mississippi for identification. The park was closed today as the investigation is ongoing and it is continuing. 9 people, count them, 9, were arrested over the weekend for stealing over $50,000 worth of Nike shoes. Where did they steal those Nike shoes from? No, not a business, but from a CSX rail yard on North Holmes. Where I guess they come through and maybe they stop for the evening or what have you. But they broke into this boxcar that had all these Nike shoes in it, and they just helped themselves. It was on North Holmes is where the rail yard was. The shoes were, after an investigation, found to be stored at a home in Fraser and being sold out of that home in Fraser. Well, police quickly found out what was going on there, and they went to the address. And when they went to the address, they saw guys carrying out about 30 boxes, putting them in cars and preparing to sell them elsewhere. Unbelievable, this city. Sometimes, that's all I can say, sometimes. And on a bright note, we've been slapping around the University of Memphis Tigers for their up and down season rather erratically. Well, they celebrate a big win yesterday. They beat Florida Atlantic University in a payback game from last year, where they lost by 1 point, knocking them out of the tournament last year, chance to go to the tournament. They won a close one yesterday, beating Florida Atlantic University 78-74. So big victory now. The Tigers have a lot of work to do if they plan on trying to get into the NCAA tournament, which looks like that probably won't happen until they win their conference. If they can win their conference league championship, then they'll have a chance to go to that tournament. If not, there's always the NIT one more time. But good crowd out there yesterday. I watched the game, and it was very, very good. Somebody, Ramel said, "Go Tigers, go." I think she was at the game yesterday as well. All right, we're going to take our first break, and we're waiting for our first guest to join us on the big broadcast this evening, Reverend Dr. Reginald Boyce from the city of Memphis. Should be joining us any minute now to talk about the One Memphis event that will be happening starting tomorrow night in Whitehaven, Mississippi at Whitehaven High School. Mayor Young will be leading things off. This is going to be the first stop of many stops all around the city. And, we're going to find out a little bit more about that, why it's happening, the whole 9 yards. And, I don't see him on here tonight, but usually on my Facebook Live, I usually see my friend GKP. He normally joins in on the show. As a matter of fact, there he is right now. There's Jay. I looked down and I saw him. Now I'm gonna do what Jay. I'm gonna steal the page from his my friend's book here. He always says, if you come online when he does his thing, he always says, "Don't be looking and lurking." All right, just come on in and say that got smiled out of Brand. Come on in and say hello. So say hello to me, Michael Harris. Hey man, how are you? Good to see you. Ramel is on as well, as is GKP. So we'll take our first commercial break. We'll be back and we'll get into the show. What do you say? It's the Monday edition right here on what station is this? Oh, WYXR. Just kidding. 91.7 on your FM dial. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest? Or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
WYXR is brought to you by Iris Collective. When art stirs the soul, community grows. More than performances, Iris Collective is a catalyst for artistic collaboration, education, and experiences across Memphis. Learn more at iriscollective.org and see music transform.
Hey, I'm Amy, host of Sonosphere on Monday at 4 p.m., and you're listening to WYXR 91.7 FM Memphis. I'm here today to ask you to further your impact with the station with the city's soul by joining the ranks as a WYXR mid-level donor today. Join us in championing a more inclusive and informed world through the transformative power of the community radio. Visit midlevel.wyxr.org to become a mid-level donor at WYXR, where your investment paves the way for a brighter and more connected future. Mid-level donors enjoy exclusive benefits such as on-air acknowledgments, VIP passes to Raised by Soundfest, and the opportunity to step into the role of a guest DJ. More information about mid-level donations can be found at midlevel.wyxr.org.
Support for WYXR comes from Tresvent, located in the heart of Memphis at 177 North Highland. Tresvent is where culture and community come together, offering independent living apartments and garden homes ranging from 650 to 3,000 square feet, as well as all levels of care in assisted living, memory support, and a 5-star health and rehab center. More information to schedule a tour at tresventmanor.org.
WYXR doesn't go to sleep at night. We keep the music moving. Memphis music, that is. When our DJs clock out, our automation clocks in with music right from our community. Produced, performed, and written by Memphians, or in Memphis. Some are hits, and some are rarely heard, but they all tell the story of one of the world's greatest music cities. Visit WYXR.org for playlist and scheduling information. Email submissions@WYXR.org to let us hear your Memphis music. We may just play it.
Connect with Memphis on WYXR. We offer sponsorship opportunities that expose your brand to our loyal listeners who value local arts, culture, and music. Support public radio and be part of our community. Explore more at wyxr.org/sponsorship.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city. Chip with you. Very happy to have you with us out there as well this evening. And very good to have our first guest with us. As I said at the outset of the broadcast, there is a very important event that is kicking off in our city tomorrow evening by Mayor Paul Young and his senior staff. It is a listening tour, and it is your opportunity as the community to ask questions and get answers. To join us to talk a little bit about all of this is the good Reverend Dr. Reginald Boyce. He is the Director of Community Affairs for the City of Memphis, as well as the Special Assistant to Mayor Paul Young. And my friend, you're always talking about my introductions. How was that for you this evening?
Man, that was awesome. Let me tell you, you are the king of it. You are the beast when it comes to introduction. I'm telling you, when the Lord returns, I'm going to tell him to keep you around so you can introduce him.
Thank you. Look at that. I like that. Well, you got clout. You're also a senior pastor as well of Lakewood Church. So we hadn't forgotten about you either, my friend. But it's great. It's great to see you. Great to have you on the show this evening. And we're talking about a special initiative. You guys have been barely in office 2 months. But you're launching a very special initiative in Whitehaven tomorrow night. It is called One Memphis. Tell us all about it and what we can expect.
Absolutely. So One Memphis Tour is an opportunity for the mayor to get boots ground, to talk and have a conversation with every person in the city of Memphis. It is a community targeted event, which means that like we're in Whitehaven tomorrow, we'll be in North Memphis, Raleigh next month. We're in Geisman Community Center this upcoming Friday. We're speaking to our Spanish brothers and sisters, Spanish speaking brothers and sisters.
Okay.
And so we are going to all these different spaces and places to hear your concerns. There are concerns that Memphians have, and then there are concerns that certain communities have. And so we want to make sure that we are being intentional, that we are targeting those issues that matter most to those who live in those zip codes, who live in those streets, who shop at those grocery stores, right? And many of our communities have food deserts, right?
Yeah.
And so it's an opportunity for the mayor to be boots on the ground and see what is happening. And not only can he see it, he can hear it, and then we can offer real-time solutions. And so at this event, Chip, we're going to have not only the mayor, but chiefs of all divisions. So we're talking about Memphis Fire. We're talking about Memphis Police. We're talking about Public Works. Human resource. I mean, you can literally even learn about the job opportunities that we have at City Hall. We have our city council that'll be present. We'll have individuals from parks and neighborhoods. And I mean, so you're going to have a melting pot of individuals from City Hall. In fact, the way I like to say it, Chip, is we're bringing City Hall to your community.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, you are, as I made a reference to, in addition to your duties of working with the city of Memphis, you are the proud senior pastor of Riverside Missionary Baptist Church, my friend.
Yeah.
And you said to me before we were talking, you said this position that you're in now, working and serving for city government, it's a good fit. Why is it a good fit in particular with what you do, you know, in your pastoral duties?
Yeah. So as a pastor, right, just as an individual that's a believer, that's a server, that's a servant of God, my job is is not only to deal with people, but to be in the mix with people, right? I get to hear their story. I get to watch watch their testimonies unfold, to watch their, going through their downfalls, their upbringing. I mean, I get to see it all. And so as a pastor, a lot of people share those concerns that are personal and some of those challenges with them. And there's only so much I can do on a level as a pastor, right? I can pray for them, our church. We can work hand in hand with them. But then this opportunity to work with government allowed me to extend that support, to even point them to further resources and to further help, right? That a lot of our churches, we're limited when it comes to resources, but our city has all type of resources that exist. And oftentimes individuals don't know they exist. So I get to now point them in a further direction and say, hey, yes, Riverside can help you here, but did you know that if you call 311, you can get this? Did you know that if you call community affairs or youth services, if you call, blight control, like, hey, we can get these issues taken care of in your community, or even with my partnership with MPD and Memphis Fire. So now we can make sure there are individuals who said, hey, my car keep getting broken into, I can partner them with other agencies and other organizations that have the resources that unfortunately they don't know anything about. I like to see it this way, Chip. It's the beautiful partnership of God and government, right? I know people want to separate church and state, and you can separate it all day long. They're going to cross paths, right?
Eventually.
That's why politicians come to the church.
Yeah.
And
that's true. That's very true. I hadn't thought about that.
Separated.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm at Riverside. We're a voting site, right? So there's no real separation of church and state. And so I think that there ought to be a healthy way where we can merge the two, and we just simply meet the needs of people. And that's what we have to do. And here's the deal, Chip. You can be black, white. You can be Christian, non-Christian.
Doesn't matter.
You can be from Memphis. You can be from Louisiana, but now Memphis is your home. Is that my job is to make sure that if you call Memphis your home, that we're connecting you to every resource that puts you in the position to win and thrive.
Many of us, are dealing with challenging times in our city, but a lot of folks like to stay on the outside and don't like to get involved on the inside. tell everybody why this is such an important event and why it is so important for people to show up. I know you want to see a room full of people tomorrow night because that will signal. Because when Paul ran, when Mayor Young ran, he said at the very top, this is not about me. This is about we. We are one Memphis, and that's what it's all about. And he's sort of living that theme, is he not, through this?
Absolutely. Oh, full-fledged. And so that's the purpose of this, is we have to, every challenge that we face, of course, we know public safety is at the top of it, right? We're all sick of crime. But what the mayor wants to make sure that we all understand that this is not a me problem. This is a we problem. We all share these concerns. We all share these challenges.
Right.
And so we need to hear, right, what is taking place. What is it that we can do? How are some ways we can help? I was talking to one of our stakeholders in this community. You know him, this Stephen Moore. Shout out to Stephen Moore. Stephen Moore said the reason why he got locked up is because of nosy neighbors. And he said we don't have enough of nosy neighbors anymore. So that's why people aren't getting locked up. When he did his thing when he was younger, that's what got him in trouble, with nosy neighbors. And so we need to empower our community, be nosy again, be concerned again. If you see a car driving in this neighborhood at all times of, in the hours, get involved. And so this is our way of empowering individuals to own your city, to own your block. The mayor has this term that he's been speaking to pastors and other individuals, that every pastor, every church ought to own their block, right? I'm on 3rd Street. Of course, 3rd Street is extremely long, but I fight for every single thing that comes on 3rd Street because I believe in owning the block, right? So I already know on one side of this street what's happening down that way. I know what's happening on the left side of it. But when it comes to right here, what's happening in front of our church, we are very intentional in ensuring that certain individuals and certain activities, more so the activities, aren't taking place. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to get us back to ownership.
That's a very interesting point. And we hasten back to a time when we were coming up, when neighborhoods and communities actually cared about each other. They watched out for each other. They supported each other. They told on each other when they needed to do that as well. And really, there has been a decline in that, obviously, and a mistrust. And it seems to me like that this is one good way, and the continued travel not only will educate you all as decision and policymakers, but maybe help to get us back to that we attitude versus me attitude. Am I on the right track with that?
You're 100% on the right track. Yes, sir. You're on the right track. And so, and as the mayor continues to share those concerns, we'll see that how we're all affected by what is taking place. One of the things we've kind of been talking about is, you may remember this back in a few years ago, the county commission had this thing that they talked about, that every time they passed something, it talked about how it impacted the children. You remember that?
I do.
All right.
I do.
And so that's conversation, like, how does this impact the future ahead? So that's what we want to make sure everything that we do, we understand how this impacts or influence the people, the children of tomorrow, our kids today. And so that's what the mayor is basically just trying to do. It's just help us see that this is a weed problem, and the only way we can solve it is if we're present, we're in the room, we're expressing our concerns. Because if we're at home, we're only going to hear the narratives of someone else or what the news show us. And this is no knock towards media. Media is doing their job. But we understand that if your news only comes from the beauty shop, Facebook, the barber shop, so-and-so, Miss Nancy house or whatever, it's going to always be skewed and jaded. But if you can come to the room where the real decision makers are, where the experts are, is what I like to call them, those who are doing the work, and we can really share with you, what's really happening. I want to make one last statement too.
Sure.
We found this out, and I've discovered this a few years ago, but even more now. People, Chip, really don't have a clear idea how government works. And so what happened is we start pointing fingers and saying that this is mayor's problem, or this is the chief's problem, or this is the councilman's problem, or this is so and so. But really, there are certain things that fall under government through state laws, right?
Yes.
There are some state laws where the city can only do so much, right? And so one of the things we want to do is educate individuals. Hey, how does local government work for you? Because, we all have a job because of the people. So we want to work for you.
Sure.
But how can we work for you? What is it? What do we have the power to do locally? And then what is it that we need to fight to do on a state level and on a national level? And so we want to educate individuals as well to show you, hey, this is what the mayor can do. This is what Chief Davis can do. This is what the Office of Community Affairs can do. And I think once we educate people and they get a clear understanding, then we'll really start seeing some real momentum, some real change, and some real innovative ideas.
It all kicks off tomorrow night, 6:30 at Whitehaven High School.
6 o'clock.
I'm sorry, 6 o'clock. It's at 6 o'clock. Yeah. Get there before 6. Yeah, just make it. Absolutely.
No. And I'm grateful you said it, because what happened was we had a bad flyer that was published for 10 minutes. It was published for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And someone captured that flyer. A couple of them captured it, and that's been circling. But it is at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm grateful you said that, because there has been some concerns. People say it's at 6:30, right? So no, it's at 6.
All right.
Please get there at 6, and right before, and the doors will open at 5.
Okay.
We'll have a resource hub. So if you come in at 5 o'clock, we'll have tables set up where you can get information about things that are going on in City Hall. We'll have snacks and stuff for you to drink.
Yeah.
You can mix and you can mingle. And this is just one of many. I'll tell you some other ideas we got coming up. We got some mixers, some networking opportunities that's coming up in the near future.
Okay.
Because we really want to empower our community. We want to partner people together. Because again, the only way it's going to get better, it's going to take the hands and the feet of every single individual.
Thank you, my friend. Reverend Dr. Reginald Boyce, my friend. Wonderful to see you. Thank you again, and best of luck. And we're always here for anything that you need us for, man. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Trust, I will be calling you.
I know you will. You take good care, man. We'll talk to you soon. So that was a great interview, ladies and gentlemen. Again, big event tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at Whitehaven High School. The city comes to you. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to our next guest. She is a familiar face to us here at Real Talk Memphis, and to you as well. This is Real Talk Memphis for a Monday evening. I'm Chip. A quick one, and we'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page, and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
The Onstage at the Halloran Center season presents the Memphis Songwriter Series, hosted by Mark Edgar Stewart. Mark and his musical guests take audiences on a journey behind the music, sharing personal stories and introducing new works. The fourth event of the season is Thursday, March 14th, and will feature Aaron James, Hope Claiborne, and Madeline Collins. More information at orpheum-memphis.com.
Support for WYXR comes from the On Stage at the Halloran Center 2023-2024 season, continuing in downtown Memphis. Experience a diverse array of live entertainment with music, magic, and more, including the return of the Orchestra Unplugged and Songwriter Series events. More information at orpheum-memphis.com/onstage.
Support for WYXR comes from Grind City Festival, a 2-day music and arts festival featuring Whiskey Myers, Charlie Crockett, Muscadine Bloodline, Nikki Lane, the Red Clay Strays, and more. Taking place April 5th and 6th at Grind City Brewing Company in Uptown Memphis. Tickets available at grindcityfest.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city. Chip with you, along with our next guest. And she's no stranger to this broadcast. She's been on here before. She's doing great things in our community to help support families. And she is the executive director of Families Matter. And she is Carol Jackson, my friend. Hi, good to see you. Happy New Year. How are you?
Happy New Year, Chip. And oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be with you this evening. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely, that always. And you're doing some wonderful things in our community, in terms of, trying to keep the family structure together, whether couples are together or not. That does not mean that they cannot forge a partnership for the sake of the children and the families. Now, before we get into all of that, I saw you on TV, or your organization on TV last week. You were hosting some type of graduation. Please tell us what that was all about.
It was our 7th graduation for the Affirm, A Father's Involvement Really Matters program. And what we did with that particular graduation, Chip, I had this idea that I brought to the team. They got behind it and made it happen. Mm-hmm. My idea was to ask the fathers to bring their children to the graduation, and their parents and anyone they wanted to see them go through that.
Yes.
And then have a family fun night after that.
Okay.
So the fathers played games with their children, and we had food. And so not only did they see them get their certificates of graduation, and then those funds that we give them for completing certain accomplishments, but then we had all these activities going on in different rooms where fathers could play with their children and win games, and then the children could go pick out prizes. So it was a fun-filled evening for the family.
Well, it sounds like it. And in terms of that, what were some of the things, some of the metrics that these men had to go through in terms of the program? What were some of the finer points?
The finer points of it is, when a person comes to us, and if they need a job, and if they get that job, the case managers and the employment specialists help them get jobs. And when they get those jobs, if they keep those jobs for 30, 60, or 120 days, they get a certain type of, we call it a milestone payment, but actually it's a payment to encourage them to stay with that job. In so many instances, the men that we work with, in some cases, have not had employment for a long period of time. We try to do is encourage them to stay with that job so they can build up some security on the job. And then for those men that get into our fatherhood program, so that they are literally being taught co-parenting skills and how to deal with conflict and all those things, we also give a payment for that. So the men that stick with that, stay with that for 8 weeks, they get a payment of around $1,000. And if they get their the mother of their child to work with them, they come into the program, they do a signing of a co-parenting agreement where they decide how they will co-parent this child together, then they can get another $1,000. So we are doing those things that try to help those fathers and those mothers understand their role within their child's life and how to create an environment where children become priority and not just by the wayside.
That's a wonderful thing. And, especially with what we hear on a daily basis, and so many of our young people out there feeling disconnected, feeling lost, and a lot of the parental responsibilities are being neglected and things like that. That's why you really focus on what you focus in terms of the Affirm program with the men, but also, not only just having the men, but having the female involved in this too. And again, I hasten back to our past conversations, and it's not about whether you're together or not. That should not affect how you raise a child should you have children together. That should not affect that, and you can absolutely co-parent these children, especially navigating through difficult times. Am I correct?
Exactly. In fact, we've had an instance, Chip, where the mother and the father were getting together to create the co-parenting agreement. And the child wanted to be involved because they wanted to see what dad was wanting to do and what mom was wanting to do and how it would impact them.
Yeah.
And so this is what we call this, Chip, is revolutionary, is historical, and it's definitely a program that's needed within Memphis and Shelby County. It's all about the children, what we're trying to impact our children.
You seem to be getting a lot of buy-in with this program. I mean, in terms of the city and the county, are you getting support from the elected officials in terms of what you're doing? Because what you're doing is really saving families, and more importantly, is helping to save children as well. And I hope that you're getting the buy-in that I think you are from our elected officials. Are you?
We first of all, we have not gone to them yet because so many of them, I mean, when inauguration was in January. So, but what we are doing is putting together a plan so that we can go to those newly elected officials and share with them everything we're doing. Now, for the county, there are several people that's on that county commissioner's area that know exactly what we're doing. So we will be reaching out to them as well to get the support that we need in order to continue this. Because whereas, Chip, this is a state-funded program at this point, what we recognize is that this needs to be a Memphis, Shelby County funded program.
Sure.
Because we are the ones that will benefit. The citizens of Memphis and Shelby County are the ones that will truly benefit from what we're doing. And Chip, I keep saying trying to do, but it's not a try. We are doing it. It is happening. We had one young man went through the program. He did one Facebook post and our phones rang off the hook because of what he received. And we have actually taped him telling others, you need to be a part of this because you need to understand that at some point in life, you might need someone to take care of you, and who better to care for you than your children?
It must be very gratifying and rewarding to hear someone extol the virtues that you've been working hard on this program for a very long time. But to see the success, one man at a time, one child at a time, one family at a time, has got to be for you just extraordinarily gratifying. And I know you're just really just beginning. I mean, you've been doing this for a while, but you really want to take this even higher. Am I correct in that?
I do, Chip. It is my heart's desire. I pray daily that all will go well, even with the ups and downs and the problems that can come about, but that we are able, Families Matter is able to take this across the state. We have some different counties that's calling us now, but because we're in an evaluation mode, we cannot share a lot of the things. However, I'm excited about getting out of that evaluation mode and being able to offer this in other areas, mainly because if it helps, what do we always say? If it works in Memphis and Shelby County, it will work.
Sure.
It will work.
Sure.
And so we know that with the right type of instructors, we know with the right people, helping fathers understand their role within the family structure. We know that children want their parents involved in their lives. They do not want to be that pawn on a chessboard. We know that families matter, and that's what we're doing, is making sure that we are giving that story everywhere we go.
Well, I was very excited to see the graduation covered on TV the other night, and judging from the men who received their certificates, they were feeling very, very happy and like they accomplished something. And that's really what there's a self-gratification when you feel like you've gone through a program and you've accomplished something. So now it's time to take that and take that and pay it forward.
And pay it forward. We actually had, Chip, a young man that came in. One of our case managers brought him up to me and told me about him. He had gone someplace and all of his equipment, I believe I forget what he did for a living, but what he needed was his tools, and all of his tools were stolen. Well, because he was a part of this program, we could supply him with his tools again. So those type things are things that keep people in the workplace, keep them encouraged to do their jobs, and just help them when times are tight. And we all know that we all go through some tight times sometimes, and we just need to be there for each other.
Absolutely that. Well, I'm a big supporter of you. I'm a big advocate for what you do, and I'm extremely proud of the efforts that you put in for this program, Families Matter. If anybody wants to find out more about the programs that you offer or just more information in general, please give them that information now, if you will.
Yes, you can always reach us at 901-445-0115. That is the Affirm program's number. My number is 901-260-8520. And you can always go to our Facebook page. That's Families Matter Memphis Facebook page. Mm-hmm. See what's going on, because all that's posted. In fact, if you want to see last Wednesday's night events, it's posted there. You'll see all the many pictures and all the fathers and the families having a great time. And we're on, and then our Instagram page, same thing. So just get in touch with us. Families Matter Memphis, FAMILIES, Matter, MATTER, Memphis.
My friend, Carol Jackson, it is so great to see you. And of course, I'm just extraordinarily proud of all of your efforts. And you're always welcome back on this show. You know that.
I know that, Chip, and I will be coming back because we have to get the word out together. Well, so thank you, my friend.
Absolutely. You take good care of yourself. I'll talk to you down the road. Absolutely.
All right. Take care. And again, Happy New Year.
Same to you. Carol Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, just an amazing woman and an amazing program. Families matter, and they truly do matter, especially in the times that we're dealing with today. We're going to take a final break of our broadcast. I'm waiting for another guest to show up. I hope that she does. In the meantime, thank you all for being with us this evening. I see several of you on the Facebook Live line. Kevin, Kevin Phipps is on this line here tonight. I hope you didn't misdial, man. Anyway, let's go to break. We'll take a quick break, our final break of the broadcast, and we'll continue on the other side. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Don't go away.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Community Alliance for the Homeless has a mission to unite partners and coordinate a comprehensive response system to end homelessness in Memphis and Shelby County. This includes securing over $11 million of government funding on behalf of over 20 direct service organizations in our community in 2023, leading the community in homelessness planning and improving resources across Memphis and Shelby County, and gathering and analyzing data on homelessness, which helps all of our partners better serve those experiencing housing insecurity. More information about Community Alliance for the Homeless can be found at www.cafth.org.
The doors to our hall are opening once again for the Pull-Up, an open house-styled event highlighting WYXR and our neighbors in Crosstown Concourse. Come out to the free event Thursday, February 29th at 6 p.m. to peruse the floor of our HQ. Meet community creatives at the nearby Memphis Listening Lab, America Photo Studio, and Dragonfly Collective. Stick and stay for WYXR DJs Ross Al Ghul and Natalie Hoffman, and a live performance by the Tennessee Screamers. For more info, visit wyxr.org/events.
Programming on WYXR is brought to you by a grant from Arts Memphis, who has been working behind the scenes for 60 years to grow the foundation of Memphis arts.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city. Chip Washington with you. Very happy to be with you tonight as well. Of course, we've had a great show for you up to this point. Now, we were supposed to have, and I don't see her on here, we were supposed to have Velver Lee. Now, if any of you are familiar with Velver, she is a swim instructor here in the city, and it's called Grown Women Swim Memphis, and she swears that she could teach you how to swim in one lesson, just one. That's all she needs, one. And we were hoping to have her on the show tonight to talk a little bit about all this. A lot of folks are getting ready for the summertime, and a lot of folks are, getting themselves together. But there's a lot of people who fear the water, who like the water, but fear the water. Now, see, Lola just used a specific ethnic group, us. That's what she was saying about us. Can you swim? I can't. Okay. Lola can swim. I, on the other hand, cannot swim. I remember very specifically when I was a young lad. I was taking swimming lessons. I was like probably in elementary, maybe middle school, more like elementary school. And I just couldn't pick it up. I just, it's like people use the term like a fish to water. I didn't say it was hard. I just couldn't. I guess I had an innate fear, right? So, so you go through the course, you go through your basics with the board and all that kind of stuff. And the very day we had to test, we had to jump in the water and then try to swim back, right? You remember that, right? So I told myself, I said, well, I'm not going to get too far across this pool. So I'm going to at least make a big, entrance into the water. So I kind of, stepped back a few steps and then leaped and jumped into, and it was 12 feet of water. I jumped in 12 feet of water. Soon after, as they saw me going once, going twice, and going forever, they jumped in the water and grabbed me and pulled me back to shore. The only saving grace in that particular embarrassing moment in my life was the fact that I wasn't the only one. So, it's always good when you have other folks. But again, swimming safety, pool safety, water safety is very important. Now, we have a lot of children who go to these community pools when they're open, when it's really, really hot outside. We've seen unfortunate incidents, with some of these kids drowning who don't know how to swim. So I would take this opportunity to say what Velver would say had she shown up tonight, is, of course, learn how to swim, learn how to be comfortable in the water, and make sure you teach these young people, they like the water. Make sure you teach these young folks how to fend for themselves out here, not only in these pools, which is a great place to learn and train, when you go out to the beach. And keep an eye on these young folks, too. They go wander. They go, what? Who? Try not to bite your swim instructor. She said, Nola said, try not to bite your swim instructor. I'm going to have to get it. There's a backstory to that some kind of way. I don't know how. I don't know where that is. But in any event, listen, we're not gonna hold you tonight. We're gonna get out of here a few minutes early, but really appreciate you being here. There's a lot of folks on the Facebook Live line. Paris, I see you. Welcome in this evening. Michael Harris, of course. Anita Farmer, Trina Harris, Clovis Jones. Those are names that I have never seen on the Facebook Live line this morning. This evening. I've never seen them on before, period. So if you're new to all of this, welcome. Appreciate you, Ramil. I saw you. I don't know if you're still out there or not, but Ramil is on as well. So listen, we're going to get out of here as Brent plays this out. But thank you for coming on with us tonight, for being on with us tonight, for supporting us as you always do each and every week. My goal is to have more and more people support what we're trying to do here at Real Talk Memphis. There are a lot of issues. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of voices out there who we haven't spoken with, even though we've spoken with hundreds. I'm looking to speak to everybody and anybody who's got a message out there. So thank you all for supporting the broadcast. That's what Ramel says. Hey, Ramel. Again, Nicole checked in tonight. We saw her on the line earlier. She reacted to something we said. Shout out to Nicole. We love Nicole. She's got Planet Chrome on Sunday. Was it Friday night at midnight? Yeah. So check her out as well. Really great. So for Brian, for Nicole, for Level Lola, and for yours truly, Chip, we appreciate you. We thank you. We encourage you to come back next week and bring a friend. So in the meantime and in between time, be safe, be careful, and we are out. See you soon.